Is this thing on? I came in here early to make sure all the tech was working. And adjust my hair without you seeing, but apparently I can't do that. Let's see. I think I'm actually streaming here. All right. Thanks for your patience. This is my very first. Oh, it does say I'm live on YouTube. How exciting. Okay.
It does say I'm live on YouTube.
Oopsies. Okay. I can totally see myself. I am streaming and I am just here for you guys to do some tapping today. So let me know if you can see me and hear me. Okay, since this is my very first one, I just want to make sure everything's working on the tech side of things. Can you see me? Can you hear me? How's everybody doing? Y'all, I just got some highlights and I'm feeling a little self-conscious about some of this blonde in here. I don't like it. I'm going to get it toned down just a little bit. Let me know. Can you see me? I see 2 people are here. So let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me. And also, tell me what you want to tap on today. What's going on for you? What would be helpful? We can tap on anything that is up for you, whether it is money related or not. If it's something else and it's in my wheelhouse, we can definitely do some tapping on that too. But this is just for you. I don't have like a pre-planned agenda. Or hi, Priya. Wonderful to see you, my darling Priya. Is there anything that you would like to tap on today? Priya is one of our MSpot members. And so Priya, if there's anything that's specific that you want to tap on today, something that we've covered in the membership, something related to, awesome. Glad you can see and hear me. Thank you for the chats. Yeah, anything related to identity around your money. We've been talking about your money identity and how to build an abundant identity as you are shifting your relationship with money, because it is a whole identity shift. You know, when we talk about identity, it's the difference between, you know, some there's what was the book that I read this in? I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's the difference between, like, if you were a smoker and you decide, oh, I'm gonna, you know, I think I'm gonna cut back, or I think I'm gonna stop smoking. Someone says, hey, you want a cigarette? And the identity difference, the identity shift is the first person says, or the difference is, you know, the person says, oh, no, thanks, I'm trying to quit. That person has not built the identity as a non-smoker. Whereas when the second person is asked, hey, you want a cigarette? They say, oh, no, thanks, I don't smoke. That's the difference. There is no room for doubt. There's no wiggle room in, like, maybe I will, maybe I won't, or I'm trying to quit. That's the difference between building an abundant identity and someone who's like, yeah, I think I'll maybe work on my money mindset. That sounds like a good idea. It sounds like something I should be doing to be a responsible adult. It's like saying I am an abundant person versus I should probably work on my money mindset, or maybe I'll do a tapping session today. Yeah, that sounds right. Sounds like a good idea. So how does someone who is an abundant person, who identifies as an abundant person, how do they show up differently in the world than someone who's like, yeah, I should probably work on that, or maybe I'll do a tapping session today, or maybe I'll listen to a podcast or something, I don't know. But they're not really taking it seriously. Whereas someone who is in the embodiment of the abundant identity, they'll get up and they'll just do their tapping session, right? They'll get up and they'll work on their money mindset in a very specific way. And we do that inside of my money membership, MSpot. If you're not a part of that, you can check it out at theluckysoul.com/membership. It's not open right now, but it will be again soon. Priya says, feeling the shame to charge a premium price by working fewer hours when people around me are working hard to make money. Ooh, juicy one. Yes. Isn't it interesting how we feel bad about charging more and making more, working less, if other people around us are in a program where they're working hard for the money? So yeah, let's tap on that. So, what are you afraid might happen if you, or let me ask you this. What is the upside to holding on to this shame? Is there an upside to that? What might be the positive benefit that you would get by staying in the energy of shame? You don't actually have to charge the amount and feel through the uncomfortability, right? People might judge you or think certain things about you if you start making more money doing less work, and that might feel so uncomfortable that you keep yourself in the shame. You're afraid of, the criticism or the rejection, the rejection or judgment or rejection to make things easier. Yeah. And we've been programmed, right, by the patriarchy to think that in order to be a good person, we have to work really hard for every freaking dollar. And this is something, my goodness, let me tell you that I have had to work really hard, and I still do work around setting boundaries with my time and my energy and allowing things to be easier and allowing myself to make more doing less. It's a process. It's not a one and done phenomenon for most of us. Yeah, feeling connected to the people around me. All right. Let's get right into it. Let me write that down. Feeling connected to the people around me. It's always helpful for me to write things down. Shame to charge a premium price. People are working hard for the money. Okay. And if anything comes up for you while we are tapping, please do feel free to just put it in the chat and I will add it to our tapping language. Okay. So let's warm up our hands. Take a nice big deep breath. Move this down a little bit. Get grounded in your chair and tune into that shame. Tune into that shame that you feel around charging more when other people around you are working hard. Who am I to work less and earn more? And as with any issue that comes up again and again, or it just seems to linger even after you've tapped, all that means is that it's a really strong limiting belief. It might mean that there are other layers underneath it that you also need to bring awareness to and tap around. But it could just be one of those stuck limiting beliefs that you have to tap consistently around in order to start to transcend that program. Like for me, mine was the not enough programming, just remembering that I am enough and I don't have to add extra to everything in order to feel like the exchange is equal. Not being judged as too much and outgrow them. Oh yeah, I don't want to be too much. Yeah, isn't that something that we're also taught as women, right? We're too much this, we're too much that. And then when we veer into being more this or that, then all of a sudden it's like, or when we veer into being less of it, it's like, oh, now I'm not enough. And then when you get to the other side of it where you're like, I'm going to allow myself to do this, and all of a sudden you're too. So it's like, it's always a no-win situation for us, right? Yeah, and outgrowing them is a fear too. Okay. Ooh, tune into that shame, that fear of judgment, and let's start on the karate chop point. Jenny, hi Jenny. Yes, this technically is supposed to start at 10 a.m., but I hit go live early and I thought it was going to send me into a room where I could check the settings, and it just put me out onto the internet. So here we are, a little bit early. So if you have something that you want to tap on, bring it, girl. All right. Even though there's all this fear and shame around charging a premium price, and around the idea of working less and earning more. Who am I to do that? And it's keeping me from living into the abundant life that I really want for myself, and allowing myself to feel really good about that. And it's keeping me from stepping into a new paradigm around making money and who I can be in relationship to money and abundance. It's keeping me from changing my money identity in a really deep way. And there's a big old part of me that has no interest in letting this shame or fear of judgment go. Maybe because I'm afraid if I let it go, I'm going to outgrow some people. And my relationships might change. And what will they think of me? What if they judge me? What if I hold up a mirror to them that makes them uncomfortable? And that causes the relationship to change. I don't want to risk that. And I really want to get to the bottom of this. And I want to love, honor, and acknowledge all of my parts, especially the ones holding on to this shame, and the parts that are afraid of being judged for making more, doing less. And the parts that are afraid of their relationships changing. If I step into this new money paradigm, this new money identity. I want to send some extra love to those parts. I want to thank them for showing up today and trying to keep me safe in the only way that they know how. In the way that they have been programmed. Okay, shake out your hands, take a deep breath. All this shame around charging a premium price. Who am I to charge that when there's so many people working hard for the money and being maybe a little miserable? Shouldn't I shrink myself down and be miserable too? Yes. That's the programming I learned, and that's the programming I'm sticking to. Otherwise, I'm going to be judged. They might think I'm too much. They may not like that I'm charging that and maybe no longer working as hard. I'll outgrow them and they'll still be stuck and miserable. And then I'll be all alone because all of my relationships are dependent on me also staying stuck and miserable. But maybe if I evolve into this next level where I give myself the freedom to charge a premium price, make more work less, maybe that could inspire people. Maybe they might say, wow, I didn't even know that was a possibility. How did you do that? Show me your ways. Tell me more. And in that scenario, not only would I free myself from the old paradigm, the old patriarchal money programs, but someone else would be freed too. Well, that's interesting. But what if they don't evolve with me? What if they think negatively about me charging more, or say that I'm greedy, or I'm like scammy or slimy for charging quote unquote too much? Well, if someone's going to judge me for making a choice that changes my life in a positive way, maybe I have to reevaluate whether that person deserves a spot in my life to begin with. Maybe outgrowing that person is the best thing that I can do, both for myself and for them. It's never easy when I outgrow a friend or a person that I love. If they're stuck in their old thinking and judging or whatever. But I'm done holding myself back and diminishing myself and being stuck and maybe a little miserable so I can make someone else comfortable. That's not a fair trade. That's also not a good friend. Doesn't mean I can't still love that person if I bust through this program and start living into a new identity. But maybe I'll just love them from a bit of a distance. Because as I grow and evolve into a new identity, a new paradigm, though I may not see it immediately, there will be people there to meet me and welcome me and hold my hand and pull me up and encourage me. And I could form a whole new community of people where we're all holding each other's hands and lifting each other up and supporting each other. Because as I grow and evolve, so does my community. Those people will say, girl, what took you so long? We've been waiting for you. And yeah, it is hard when people that you've had relationships with for so long, don't follow suit. And that's okay. I can feel those feelings, handle those feelings, and still stay committed to who I want to be and what I want to create in the world. Any remaining resistance to letting go of this shame or this fear of judgment, I choose to let it go now. Any remaining fear around not staying connected to people that I've had relationships with, I choose to let that fear go. I choose to let that fear go now, not grow. And I choose to let myself evolve. Tapping into the permission to let myself evolve and grow and expand into this new, abundant, premium price level identity. Because whether people around me know it or not, me giving myself permission to evolve is also a gift to them. Letting go of any remaining fear, any remaining shame around charging a premium price, and tapping into it's safe to charge a more than enough rate, a premium price, to give myself the space and grace to step into this new program and this new identity where I am free and safe to start working less and earning more. Tapping into this new program and this permission in every cell of my body right now. Shake out your hands. Take a nice big deep breath. Take a sip of water. I hope you cannot hear that car horn. Somebody's car alarm is going off outside my window. Not sure if you can hear that. Hopefully you can, but I can. Tune back into your energy. Notice if anything has shifted or changed. God, that is so distracting. At least it waited till the end. Have any memories, emotions, or thoughts come up? Do you feel a little bit more willing, a little bit more permission, a little bit more freedom around beginning to charge more and work less? I mean, I remember when I was charging it was such a strange number. I don't even know how I came to this number. I was charging $364 a month for like a 3-month coaching package. Okay, the honking just stopped. Thank God. And my next leap from charging $364 a month for a 3-month package was charging $6,997 for a package for 3 months. And people signed up. And I was like, what did I just do? What kind of magic just happened in my life and in my body and in my central nervous system? Because once you take that leap and you do it for the first time, like it was edgy. Let me tell you, it was edgy, even just saying that number out loud. And I did, some work around how much should I charge in this next iteration of these packages that I was offering. I ran it by some spiritual running buddies and a straight white dude, which if you're having questions about pricing and you have a straight male dude to run things by, they usually have very little to no resistance around raising your prices and are great people to talk to. So that was very helpful. But I used some exercises in my Art of Decision Making course, and that was the number that felt like a shoe size and a half too big. That's always like the energy that I suggest leaning into when you're raising your prices, is that it should feel just about a shoe size and a half too big for you. Like something that it's not going to fall off your foot. You're not going to it's not like $20,000, for 3 months, which would feel ridiculous. But it's not like, $364 a month, which feels equally ridiculous. But it's something that feels like, oh, that feels like a more than enough number, but also within range. And I remember that I remember the PayPal payment that came in for $6,997. And I was like, oh my God, like someone just paid me $7,000 to coach them. This is amazing. Let me tell you, it gets real comfortable real fast. Like you can adjust. Oh my God, I don't feel worthy of this. I'm a fucking badass coach. Like, let's go. I'm changing this motherfucking not enough paradigm and I'm stepping into who I really am. And I am ready to receive. Thank you, universe. I'm so excited to see what I can do with this overflow, this extra. And I had so much more to offer my clients at that rate, right? Because I wasn't feeling drained. I wasn't feeling resentful. I wasn't feeling angry. I wasn't feeling stressed. I had spaciousness. And what a gift that was and is for me, as much as it is for my client, right? Because they don't want someone who's stressed, who like can't pay her bills, who needs like 13 clients every week to, just hit the bare minimum in terms of meeting your expenses. Like, no, that's not a gift to your client. It is an act of service when you start charging more because you have more to give. And what a blessing that is. Like, you don't want to like hang out with someone who like hasn't gotten enough sleep, hasn't gotten enough to eat, is, just stressed from the moment she wakes up to the moment she goes to bed. Like, do you want to hang out with that friend? Like, no, you want to hang out with the friend who just got a massage and slept in that morning and had a nice long, luxurious like cup of coffee and breakfast and massage and whatever, and like shower, and now feels really good and is open and expansive and like in the flow, right? How much more fun is it to hang out with that person than the person who's like, oh my God, I'm so hungover. I didn't sleep last night and I'm wearing the same clothes from yesterday and I smell. Right? That's essentially what you're doing, how you're showing up as a coach. If you're charging a not enough rate, you're taking something away from your client. And it is such a blessing. It's such a gift to that client and to future clients and to your whole community and to yourself and to your friends and to your family and to your whole community when you start taking care of yourself on a deeper level, where you are in the energy, embodying the energy, receiving the energy of more than enough. And you're worth it. You're fucking worth it. The question is, do you know that? Do you truly feel worthy of that more than enough rate, that premium rate, of a more than enough life, a premium life? Do you feel worthy of that? Do you feel innately worthy of that? Where's the limit, right? We talk about this in the abundance thermostat lesson inside of MSpot. Like, where's that limit where it's like, it's a little bit too good, and you have to like throw in a monkey wrench. You have to sabotage just a little bit, pull yourself back, create some trauma, not get enough sleep, whatever the thing is, just so you can like feel like, oh, okay, I'm not like, I'm just a regular person, or whatever the story is, to make you feel comfortable with what you're receiving. Or dim it down a little bit because you don't feel worthy of X number of dollars or X number of nice things. It's just too much. And we all have a limit. Limit is not bad. It's just like bringing awareness to the limit, and then, woo, I'm worthy of even this. I'm worthy of the more than enough rate. I'm worthy of fabulous level 10 clients. I'm worthy of X number of dollars per month. I'm worthy of a nice home to live in. I'm worthy of mugs that I love and t-shirts that I love and hair that I like. I'm worthy of beautiful relationships, and all of it at the same time. I'm worthy of a nice car, like to get me from point A to point B. I'm not really a car person, but like I like having a nice, reliable, beautiful, well taken care of car. You know, I'm worthy of that. I'm worthy of getting my car washed when I need to get my freaking car washed, and like, no big deal. And I can have the nice things and not feel bad about it, because having the nice things allows me to be a nicer, more generous, more loving person in the world. And it's a win-win-win for everybody. I hope that resonates. Let me know your thoughts. What's coming up for you? Anything else that's coming up that you want to do some tapping on, or that you want to talk about? And by the way, people will judge you as you continue to grow and evolve and create more in your life. There ain't nobody that gets out of that. You will get trolls. You will have people in your life leave. They will, they will find their way out, whether it's, overtly, or they just start to kind of fade out because they feel confronted by your success or your change of being. It holds something up to them that feels really uncomfortable. And sometimes those people do, move in a different direction. And it's not because they're not as good as you or there's something wrong with them. It's just that we're at different, I don't even like to say levels. I don't like to think of it as levels, or like I'm up here and someone else is down here. I like to think of it like a forest, and we're all just at different places in the forest, like just in life in general. I'm like, we're all just at different places in the forest, and we're all kind of navigating, how do we get through this forest? How do we find our way out? And what is our path? And my path is always going to look different from someone else's path. And if someone doesn't like the path that I'm going down, that's okay. No big deal. I'll give you the honor of your own experience, the dignity of your own experience and your path, just as I hope that you will give me the dignity of mine. If you make mistakes, I will love you through them. And if I make mistakes, I hope I get the same grace. So, what else is coming up? What else do you want to tap on, talk about? Your abundance thermostat, fear of judgment, fear of putting yourself out there, fear of visibility. I don't know what to create for my offer. Not sure I feel worthy of the success I desire. That's a whole thing. I've got tapping sessions on that. I've got quick AFs on that. I think I have longer tapping sessions on that too. You can go through my my playlists and see what resonates for you, see what's coming up for you. I do have a lot of tapping sessions. So if you're not sure what to tap on, you can always just browse through any of the playlists and just see what stands out. And just don't think too much about it. Just choose it and tap, and I guarantee something's going to shift. And if it's not the quote unquote right session, if it's not hitting the nail on the head, chances are after that session, you'll know how to get closer to the nail, like what actually is up for you today. And you can go back and look again and see if there's something that resonates, or you can tag me. I'm always happy to help. If you're inside the membership, all of the tapping sessions are a little bit more neatly organized in sections, and there's no promos or commercials inside of any of those. I edit all of that out. Again, if you're interested in joining the membership, you can go to theluckysoul.com/membership and sign up on the wait list. And also, if you haven't heard, if you have debt, if you just want to change your relationship with money and your money identity, even if you don't have debt, it's a really great course, Back in Black, Eliminating Debt for Good and Creating a Mindset for More Than Enough, where I take you through step by step. Let me just say this. So I built a course called MSpot a couple of years ago, which has since transformed into my current money membership. And inside of that course, I had a module, a lesson on the energy of debt, the mindset of debt, and how that shows up in your life. And what I realized is that I had a lot more to say about debt than would fit in one little lesson inside of the course. And I thought, well, what if I take this smaller lesson out that was more of a broad brushstroke and really get granular with all of these ideas? What's that going to look like? Maybe it can be an add-on to MSpot, or maybe it can be, something else. And as I was creating it, I just realized that I had a lot to say. And eventually I was like, wow, this is actually its own course. So that ultimately became Back in Black, which is I just love it. I just love it so much because it'll really give you a good understanding of your relationship to money, how your money identity is built, where those programs come from. I do get into family money programming, limiting beliefs, self-sabotage, and how the energy of lack and scarcity shows up in your entire life and how to change it. And what I love about this course, about how I created it, is that the lessons are really short. They're really meant to give you one thing to do after each lesson, one small thing. It's like, just fill out this. There are lucky sheets for each lesson, which are PDFs that help you take the work deeper. And it's like, just answer these 3 questions on this lucky sheet. You don't have to do anything else, and then come back to the next video, and then we'll go from there. So it's really, really bite-sized, because I know that working with debt, and this is coming from someone who had almost $13,000 of it, $12,622.32. I know how triggering it can be. And I know how much, shame, embarrassment, fear, all the things, self-judgment that it can bring up. So the reason I wanted to create really bite-sized lessons is so that your central nervous system would feel safe to do this tiny micro action after each video, and just watch, a short video on whatever the lesson is, and then take a breath, maybe do a little tapping, then move on to the next video. So it's a zero shame, zero judgment course. Really take it at your own pace. You can also ask me questions. There's a ton of bonuses in there, including the tapping sessions that we did in the live cohort of Back in Black, which are fucking amazing. I've gone back to these sessions myself and done them, and I'm like, wow. They're so relevant no matter where you are in your journey. Even if I don't have debt anymore, which is amazing and wonderful, but even not having debt, these sessions are still helpful. So those are all included. I think there's 10 sessions, or 10 or 15 tapping sessions from the live cohort. They're all about 10, 12-ish minutes long. So they're short, and they're just audios from the live calls that we did. So you'll get those as a bonus. The course at full price is only $97, and it's on summer sale right now for $77 with the code vacation26. One question: how to decide the price when logical mind is saying something and energetically you feel aligned with a more price? Oh my gosh, how do I find the right price? Okay, Priya, so if you haven't watched the Price Point Magic Masterclass inside of MSpot, I'm going to encourage you to go and do that. If you're not inside of MSpot and you're having trouble with your price point, you can actually get that lesson for free at theluckysoul.com/price Point Magic, theluckysoul.com/price point magic. And inside I share how to set your price point from a place of your body's intuitive wisdom rather than your logical brain. One of the exercises, I don't even know if I share this in that class or not. I'll see what I can think of off the top of my head here. So the first is the what's a shoe size and a half too big, is one of the exercises. Like what feels like it's just, it's stretching you, but it's not like you're landing on Mars. Let me think of what were the other pricing exercises. So this one is my favorite. And this is inside the Price Point Magic Masterclass. So you start at, let's say, what are you trying to price right now, Priya? Are you trying to price a single session or a package or a VIP day or a course? What are you trying to price right now? So basically, I'll wait for you to respond, but it's basically starting at the low end and starting at the high end at the same time. So if you're like, let's say you have a 3-month package that you're trying to price out. And I did this exercise when I was getting to that 6,997 price, where you start with like, okay, so I've got a 3-month package. This is what's included. This is the value. Very important to know the value, the actual real, the true value. And I talk about that in the masterclass. Because it's not just like, oh, I tap with people. That's the value. That's not the value. That is not the value. So assuming you know what the thing is that you're pricing, you know what the value is, then you start at the low end. You say, all right, I've got this 3-month package. Do I want to charge $100 a month for this 3-month single one-on-one session? All right, we'll do that then. So for the single one-on-one session, we'll start at the low end. Do I want to charge $25 an hour for a single session? And then we'll go to the high end. Do I want to charge $5,000 an hour for this single session? Okay, both of those things, not so much. Okay, what about $75 an hour? Still doesn't feel like quite enough. All right, what about $1,000 an hour? That still feels a little bit too much. Okay, what about $100 an hour? I don't know, it still feels a little bit low. Okay, what about $500 an hour? I don't know, that still feels a little bit high. And just, you see what I'm doing here? Where it's like, all right, well, what about 150? Okay, no, that still feels a little low. Okay, what about 250? Or what about, let's go 300, 150, 300. I don't know. That's still, I'm not sure if that's quite enough. And I don't know if I have the confidence yet to charge 300. And you're going to keep going a little bit and a little bit and a little bit until you get to either an exact price point where you're like, you know what, $200 an hour feels a little edgy for me. And it also, it feels like a more than enough. It feels like a shoe size and a half too big. Feels a little edgy, but it still feels realistic. It still feels doable for me. Like it's going to stretch me, but it's not going to like blow my mind wide open. That's the spot where you want to start. It doesn't matter what your logical brain says. Your body is going to know what that point is when you reach it. So you're just going to keep slicing off a little bit on the bottom and slicing off a little bit at the top until you get to either an exact number or you get to a range. When I did this exercise, I came to a range. I think I was between, I don't know, 5,000 and 8,000. And that's when I phoned a friend and I was like, help. So that's one of my favorite exercises to find your perfect price point. I'm trying to think, what are the other exercises? You also want to take into consideration, how much time, energy, education, and money that you have put in to doing what you do. Like, how much money have you actually invested? How much time have you actually invested to be good at what you do, to be able to deliver a result like that, or almost like that, or to help someone have an epiphany or whatever? Like, how much time, energy, effort, and money have you spent getting to a place where you can help someone confidently? And that needs to be filtered into what your price point is, because what's easy for you is extremely difficult oftentimes for someone else. And even though we think that, oh, this is so simple, this is so easy, it's not taking me any time at all, it's not worth much. No, 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 no. The simplicity of it is worth tens of thousands of dollars and like so much like saved time and energy for that person, that piece of simple whatever for that person is life freaking changing. So that's a place where we have to be mindful of not undervaluing ourselves. Yeah, what else in terms of price point? How does that sound for you, Priya? Does that sound like an exercise that you can get on board with? And I want you to go watch that lesson inside of MSpot and encourage you. You don't have to, but it would be very helpful. Oh, the other thing is, you don't want to set a price point that just allows you to meet your basic expenses. It's like you need to know, what are your operating expenses, right? How much do you need to just like cover the basics every month? Because a lot of people will like know that number and then set a price point in relationship to, this is what I need to run my business. Because like money in should equal money out. Like, no. Money out, like money to meet your basic expenses is one number, and money in should not only meet, but exceed that number. It should be more than enough. So if your monthly operating expenses are, let's just say $500 for simplicity's sake, you don't want to charge, if you only want 2 clients a month, you don't want to just charge them $250 each, because you're just going to break even. And your goal is to not just break even, because you are a more than enough person and you are inside of an abundant identity. You are building an abundant identity. And abundant people do not just meet the bare minimum. Abundant people go above and beyond. They charge more than enough and they receive more than enough. So if your operating expenses are $500 a month, like you want to be making, at least $1,000 a month is like, and we're talking, these are pretty small numbers, right? Relative to being able to make a living. But I'm just throwing out examples. But if like you're making, if your operating expenses are $500, it's like, well, how can I make $1,000 then with these 2 clients? Does that mean charging them both $500 for a 1-hour session? Or does that mean changing what I'm offering so that I can exceed the amount that I need to cover my basic expenses? So these are things that should be taken into consideration as well. You don't want to be the person who just hits the bottom line, baseline, like here's what I need to pay my bills. Because that's a paycheck to paycheck mentality. And we want to transcend that as an abundant person. $200 came to me. And how does that feel, Priya? Does that feel edgy? Does that feel like a shoe size and a half too big? Does it feel like you're stretching a little bit? Oh, here's another exercise you could use. This is an exercise I got from Rhonda Britton of the Fearless Living Institute. She didn't really talk about it in terms of pricing or money, but it's a handy exercise with regard to pricing regardless, where she does this exercise called stretch, risk, die. And if you think of 3 concentric circles, so one small circle, one larger circle outside of that circle, and then one bigger circle outside of both of those smaller circles. And inside of the first little circle, that's your comfort zone. Then you've got the next concentric circle. And when you go out of your comfort zone, you're stretching, right? It's a little uncomfortable. When you go outside one more layer to the third concentric circle, that's risk territory. That feels like, oh, that's that I don't feel very comfortable with that. I might be willing, but gosh, I'm going to procrastinate on that because it feels really super uncomfortable. And then outside of that third concentric circle, that's like the die area where it's like, I couldn't possibly call Oprah. That's ridiculous. I couldn't possibly pitch myself to Mel Robbins' podcast. I couldn't possibly. That's a die for me, right? Stretch might be, I don't know, recording yourself for for something on Instagram, like a Instagram reel. That might be a stretch where it's like, oh, I'm going to record something and then face the camera and then upload it to Instagram. That might feel, and then a risk might be like, oh, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Maybe that feels like a risk. That felt like a risk to me. That almost felt like a die when I did it. I was like, oh, I don't know why this feels so edgy, but it was definitely not in my comfort zone. I was like, tap, tap, tap. Help me, Jesus. So when you're pricing your offer, you can think about that too. It feels more than enough and a bit challenging. That sounds like a perfect number then, Priya. That sounds like a very sweet spot. Yeah. So when you're setting your price point, right, here's your comfort zone. This is what you've been charging so far, right? Maybe that's, let's say $75 an hour. You know it, you've done it, you feel comfortable there. It's not a big deal. And then a risk feels like, 150, 175, and maybe like 200 is the risk area where it's like, whoa, definitely stretching and risking a little bit. I don't recommend going into the die area. I mean, you might want to do, bring your toolkit because it's going to be hot in there. It's going to bring up some stuff. You're going to need some support energetically and physically, likely. Physically, I mean, like you need your people around you. But it's up to you. It's always up to you. Once you've done enough stretching and risking, like, I don't know, call Oprah, like figure it out, reach out, call Mel Robbins. I don't know, pitch yourself, figure it out, just do it. It becomes less and less risky over time. Like the risks become the stretches and the dies become the risks because you're more well practiced. Your nervous system can handle the rejection should you not hear back or should you make a quote unquote mistake or whatever. And you're just like, meh, whatever, I'll just keep going. I'm just going to try again. I've done this a million times. Like, doesn't mean anything about me, right? You're in the abundant mindset of like, even if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, that doesn't mean anything about me. Maybe it means I just try again in 6 months. Maybe it means I move in another direction for a period of time. Maybe it means I scrap this altogether, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to give up. It's just like, oh, okay, that's information. Got it. What's the next right indicated action? And there's no like big story that you fall into with all these limiting beliefs and like the 3 days of like, I need to recover. It's okay if you're there. I've been there. Sometimes I still fall into those 3 days to recover moments. And I just take it as part of the process, right? I'm like, oh, sweet Karen, what have we gotten ourselves into? You need some support. You need some tapping. You need some rest. You probably need to get outside, go for a hike, do some yoga, a couple extra meditation sessions, go to a movie. And those things bring me back to center. But if we look at it as all just part of the process, then we can just always keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward. I love that 200 feels like more than enough and a bit challenging. That's a beautiful place to be. I'm so excited for you in this new rate. What is your current rate? If you don't mind me asking. And for those of you who don't know, Priya is also a tapping coach. And she has a great YouTube channel as well. So go check her out. I started out, my very first sessions were like, I was offering 30-minute sessions and 60-minute sessions. And for a 30-minute session, it was $47. And for a 60-minute session, it was $77. That's where I started. I did that for, I don't know, somewhere between 3 and 6 months. I started out as free initially, and then people weren't showing up and I was getting mad. This is before I even like moved into the niche of money mindset. But people weren't showing up and I was like, this ain't good. How do I get people to show up? Oh, they got to put money down, then they'll show up. So I did, a fair number of sessions at 30 minutes and 60 minutes. I don't do those anymore, but they were a great way to start and get the ball rolling. $100. Beautiful. Yeah, I love $200 for you. Love it. Love it. I think that's perfect. I can't wait to hear about the first client that you have at $200. And what happens too, as you start to raise your rate, it feels and seems a little counterintuitive, but as you raise your rate, the quality of the person that, or the client that you're working with tends to up level as well. Because someone who's willing to put down $100 more for a session is likely to do the work from a more serious place and take it more seriously and get better results in their life and show up consistently and sign up for more sessions. Like I would never, like I, to be honest with you, like I would not go to a tapping coach who only charged $100 an hour because I would think, oh, that person doesn't value themselves enough. Like I want someone who knows who they are and how fucking good at it they are, because I need that kind of confidence and groundedness and sense of just like, oh yeah, like I'm really good at this. And I know that I'm valuable and I'm not afraid to charge a price point that reflects that value. Like as I'm, if that's something that I'm trying to tune into, I don't want a coach who's only charging $100 an hour because that's out of alignment with what I seek to get from the relationship. Like I want to pay a premium price point because I want to know that I'm working with a premium coach. It's the same thing with like anyone who does my hair who charges like $125. I'm like, no, I can't go to you. You might be great, but I don't trust you, especially in LA. Unfortunately, all hair related things are pretty expensive, but I know I'm not going to walk out of the salon feeling like, someone just took a weed whacker to my hair, which I have felt in the past when I didn't pay enough or someone cut my hair for free. No joke. Also, don't ever let someone who doesn't speak your language cut your hair. Hopefully you already knew that, but if you didn't, you're welcome. That was a bad experience. That was in 2008. Some French guy cut my hair. He did not speak a lick of English, and I walked out like, what the actual just happened? And I was miserable for 6 months. But it grew back. Wasn't the first bad haircut, and it wasn't the last, but hopefully it's all good from here on out. All right, my darling friends. Is there anything else that you would like to tap on? We have about a couple more minutes. I can stay on. I know we started a little bit early. I do have to hop off at 11 as Spectrum is coming here to check my internet. I'm having a technician come. So I'm going to have to hop off to make sure that I can stream all week, every day with no interruptions. All right, my sweet friends, we are going to end it here if there's nothing else. Thank you so much for tapping with me. That was a great tapping session. And I will be here live, God willing, Goddess willing, next Wednesday, same time, same place. And have a wonderful rest of your week. Do feel worthy of your desires. If you don't feel worthy of what you want, if you don't feel worthy of a more than enough life, stick around. Be sure you're subscribed to my channel. Keep an eye on those tapping sessions and tap consistently with me, because tapping consistently, man, it really is some kind of magic. And I haven't quite figured out what that is, but it's definitely there. It's tapping has just been one of the most transformative tools that I've found in my own life as I have healed some things and up leveled and transformed in my own way. So I hope that that what I share here on this channel is helpful for you too. Thank you so much for being part of the community, and have a great, abundant, more than enough week. And I will see you all again next week. All right. Bye for now.